Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Spoiler Alert. Welcome, everybody. Before I get started, let me take care of some business and we'll get to spoiling shit. So, if you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the very end of this video. You're going to see a video pop up here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, the like button and the share button as well. Also, if you want to know when I'm be on live again next, you get the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media, so Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and links to this YouTube channel page, links to my Facebook page, and for those of you who sell Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. Marks, you are here for once, son. That means the show's going to be canceled because of you. You're here on time. Oh, man. So how Spoiler Alert works is a lot of you guys like talking about shows, movies, video games, whatever, and you put spoilers in other stuff for people, and they don't like that for that much. So you can do that here. So you could talk about video games, movies, TV shows, whatever. Spoilers abound at this point. As long I just make it the caveat that as long as it is available to the general public, not like a sneak preview of a movie that you saw, or like if you saw a sneak preview of Dune, don't spoil it for the rest of us. Everyone knows how it ends anyway. But still, yeah, stuff like that. So Morx goes, okay, so Titans is a huge time jump. That's why Starfire has powers. Really? You're saying that it's going forward in time, like a huge. I thought it was just the summer off, or maybe it's in real time. Because what was it? It's been a year and a half since the last Titans came out, somewhere around there. So maybe it's a year and a half, and that's why she has her powers back. I don't know. They haven't explained it, but sure, why not? We'll say it's a time jump. But still, I can't believe they fucking killed off Hank like that, man. I mean, that I thought for sure that Superboy was going to come in at the last minute and save his ass, but no. And more power to them. It was pretty gutsy and I mean, there's no coming back from that. There's no Lazarus pit. There's no, whatever, because his body was atomized, complete with spit and everything. Yeah. So yeah, we're not going to see him again, unfortunately, because I really liked Alan Rickman. Like I said, he's been in the DC universe for a while now. Hey, Stanley. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think what else is out there that I've actually seen that I haven't really. I've been watching all that much. Stanley says you really like that poster, Morks. He really does. He does love that poster of Titan. He loves Titans, Stanley. He really does. He's an Uber fan. Oh, and for people who didn't know what the hell that thumbnail is that I put at the beginning of this this episode, that is Pamela Voorhees, for those people playing at home. Pamela Voorhees, Mother of the Year. Stanley says, I saw episode 1 of Brand New Cherry Flavor. What'd you think? I haven't watched it. I just haven't gotten to it. And also, I just don't like watching people throw up on screen, which I know there's a lot of that happening in that show. So I'm not a big fan of it. Mork says, I abhor Titans, but Dennis was an ass and gave me the poster for trolling him, so it holds a special place in my heart. That was one of my best ones, though, Morks. Come on, you have to agree that was one of my best trolls. So, and it had to go to somebody. I mean, come on. I mean, I wasn't going to give you the Doom Patrol poster, that's for sure. Stanley says, not sure yet. Some witchy revenge stuff seems to happen. Okay. Yeah, I never know what to expect from Netflix shows. I mean, everyone I start seeing in the media it's basically the advertisement that, oh, it's the number one show and blah blah blah. It's like, well, yeah, Netflix is pumping that out. They're paying to have people say it's the number one show and blah 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 blah, and it's really kind of a shitty show. And yeah. Stanley says just one kitten vomited so far. Yeah, that's more. What's one kitten too many for me on that? Like I said, I'm not a fan of people vomiting on screen. So, yeah. I've been watching. What is it? Oh, so there's this thing on Amazon called The Man from 3036 or 30. Yeah, I think it's 3036. And I was wondering what the hell this thing was. It looked like a sci-fi, documentary kind of thing. And really what it is, it's a fucking QAnon anti-vax propaganda film that's masquerading as fucking sci-fi out there. I wasn't sure at first until I started watching it, and then he gets straight to it. It was done in 2020, of course. Then I would say about 10 minutes into it, 15 minutes in, he goes straight to the whole vaccine thing. And I was like, yep, fuck you, goodbye. Yeah. Mork says, have you seen Free Guy yet? No, I haven't. I'm waiting until the 45 days is up and it shows up on HBO Max. Anti-vax is sci-fi, isn't it? Some of their conspiracy theories, yes, it's definitely sci-fi. But I mean, it was straight from the QAnon playbook, man. I mean, it was right there. And I was like, oh yeah, I've heard all this bullshit before. And it's just that bullshit. But it's them trying to convince. They're basically trying to do the whole, it's a documentary kind of thing. And yeah, it's just bullshit. Don't watch it. Because I saw the narrator of the piece, which is actually I think the writer too. Amazon shows you what else they've done, and it's the similar stuff. It's all QAnon bullshit that's on there. Yeah. You know who you QAnon bullshitters out there are. Stanley says, who with half a brain will be convinced by that? You haven't lived in the United States, Stanley. So there's about, a good 33% of the population that have fallen for bullshit like that. That's why we're in the mess that we're in. But yeah. Anyway, I'm not delving into that stuff. But yeah, stay away from that bullshit. I mean, quite honestly, and the fucking low production value and the shitty camera work. Yeah, that's just some bullshit right there. Mork says, what if episode one, any Easter eggs, something I may have missed? No, it actually follows Captain America, the First Avenger, fairly closely. Because Peggy Carter was down in the on the floor instead of up in the viewing area. That's why the Nazi spy was down there as well, because everyone stayed down there. And that's why he had access. That's why he set the bomb off early rather than later after Steve had been transformed. That's why he did it before Steve was transformed, and because he could have access to the serum. Yeah. And instead of Steve being shot as he was in the What If, it was one of the U.S. Infantry guys. I can't remember who it is now, who was shot first. And then, of course, Peggy Carter shoots the Nazi spy inside the viewing area or the experimental area, rather than shooting his driver outside. It's the same shot with her with the gun. Hey, Raymond, thank you. You didn't need to do that. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. That's true. But you know, a lot of stuff can be explained away and proven to be false. So yeah. Stanley says, what if one was pretty close to the first Avenger movie? I found it a little too derivative, but the action was, I liked it. I liked what they did. I mean, and that's usually what the what ifs were in the comics, is they were similar to a certain plot in Marvel Comics, but they switched something up. Like one of my favorites was what if Peter Parker clone had lived, because in the comics originally in the Clone Saga, Peter Parker's clone had died, and then it was so good of a story in the what if that they actually kind of made it canon later on, and you get Ben Reilly, who I believe now is Spider-Man in the comics, if I'm not mistaken, who is Peter Parker's clone. Yeah. From the original Clone Saga. He was Scarlet Spider for a little while, then yeah. So stuff does happen within the what if universe. And also it was the premise of Exiles, EX, Exiles, how it's spelled. And Exiles was about you'd always have a group of core mutants, if you will. They would switch them out every now and then. They were always different versions of X-Men or mutants that we knew about, and from alternate timelines, and they would travel to alternate timelines to fix things or whatever, or fuck things up, however it was. And that was actually one of my favorite titles too. Raymond K. Hustle says, have I already asked what your favorite time travel movies are? Mine are Predestination and Edge of Tomorrow. I think you have, but I have to say what had edged up near the top there was a History of Time Travel. Is pretty damn good, even though it's very low budget and it's a mockumentary kind of thing. I really like the detail that's in it. It's and I think that would actually probably be the closest thing to time travel, that what would actually happen in time travel if we actually were able to do it. But Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is good as well. That's one of my favorite time travel movies. I'm trying to think what else. Terminator, of course. What else is there? I'm hard pressed now to think about it. I'd have to look back and see what I've got in my queue here of stuff. But yeah, that's just a few things off the top of my head. Source Code was actually really good. I agree with you, Keith. And hey, welcome back too, by the way. Source Code was actually really good. But is it a time travel movie, or is it a alternate reality movie? That's the whole thing about Source Code, is you never really know, is he actually time traveling, or is it actually just an alternate version of himself that's happening in an alternate universe simultaneously? Like you're having all these versions of himself doing this all at the same time, and that's just an alternate version of him. Yeah, that one is questionable as to time travel, even though time travel is supposed to be the premise of Source Code. That one makes you think, and that one's very physics like. I have to agree with you, Keith. That one's a good one. Yeah. Stanley Twiddle says, I like Galaxy Quest as a time travel movie. Funny. Stanley says, is a time loop time travel? Yeah. I mean, you can get caught in a time loop, and I mean, I don't know if you would consider Groundhog Day a time travel movie. I mean, if you want to, and honestly, even Groundhog Day is based off of it's based off of something else. I can't remember what it is. They actually went to court over that one, and I believe the guy who originally wrote the script for something else won. And also, I mean, Existence. I mean, the old Cronenberg movie that came out the same week as The Matrix. Is that time travel with alternate realities at that point, because you keep skipping different, uh, or is it actually virtual reality, or um, synthetic reality, or whatever you want to call it? Because they keep hopping different realities, the two main characters, and they become different people within those. That one's really fucked up, Existence, which is a great movie too, by the way. I remember seeing that in the theater, the Embarcadero Cinema here in San Francisco, which was like a small indie, well, not even small really. It had 5 theaters, and but it was considered an indie film place. They would do film festivals and whatnot. And unfortunately, it got hurt by being open the same week as The Matrix and having similar themes to The Matrix. And yeah, I agree with you, Keith. Back to the Future is about creating an alternate timeline or alternate reality, because when he goes back, he runs over the pine tree. And instead of Twin Pines Mall, when he comes back, it's Lone Pine Mall. So already he created an alternate reality there. Plus what he did with his parents, that's an alternate reality there. So there was an article that came out in Starlog magazine way back when, and I still remember this. They argued that the Marty that we saw at the beginning of the film comes back and steps into the reality of another Marty who did nothing because he followed Doc's advice to not fuck up the timeline. And the Marty who did nothing ends up going back to the Marty that we saw at the very beginning's reality and is in the fucked up reality. So they switched places, which, if you think about it, it's really fucked up and bad. But yeah. Let's see here. Raymond says there have been many great supernatural time travels episodes for any CW fan. Yeah, true. Stanley says I would not count Existence as time travel. Okay. Any high hopes for Matrix 4? I don't know what it's about yet, Raymond. So the thing was, it was kind of funny when Matrix 3 came out and, you see Neo die at the end there. I remember turning to the person who I saw the movie with at the time, and I'm like, yeah, he's not dead. They'll bring him back later on because, of all the stuff that we'd seen already in the second Matrix, and how we knew what we knew about the Matrix. I'm like, yeah, he's not dead. That's why the machines have taken him, and he'll be back. So Mork says, saw the Matrix yesterday with my 11-year-old daughter. She loved the first 2 movies. They aged well, except for the phones. Yeah, well, flip phones are coming back. I mean, what is it? Galaxy just released. Samsung just actually released the flip fold screen phone. Yeah. They also have the big, clamshell phone that opens up into a big screen. But then again, Google Pixel is also going to be doing the same thing, which I might be holding out for. I like Google Pixel, and it's time for me to upgrade anyway. Stanley says, I assume Matrix 4 will follow the downward trend of 2 and 3. Well, there was some good stuff in 2 and 3. I mean, the whole architect thing was horribly, horribly bad. I loved Will Ferrell's. I think it was during the Oscars, or maybe it was MTV Awards, where he made fun of that, where he played the architect and just droned on. He did a total monotone voice as he did it, and I was just laughing my ass off. If you ever get a chance to see it, just I think if you search on YouTube for like Will Ferrell Architect Matrix, it should be on there someplace. Yeah. Raymond K. Hessel says, "Where would you go in time? I would love to see if Roswell is true." Um, I'd probably want to go back to Alexander the Great and see if he was actually poisoned or not. Tell you the truth. I've always been fascinated as to what would have happened if Alexander the Great had actually lived beyond, what was it, 30 years old, something like that, and had actually cemented uh, his whole empire, if you will, in history, and actually allowed it to flourish a bit more, and was able to set up a successor and all of that, a proper successor and everything, to actually make his empire grow. And because it was actually the empire, from what I understand, was fairly elegant, equal. In, I mean, yes, you had slaves and stuff like that too, but there are people that could actually make their way out of slavery and all that kind of stuff. But there was education, there was, enough food for people, all of that kind of stuff, and I think it would have led to an age of enlightenment, if you will, if he had lived past that and was allowed to flourish that empire a bit more. Yeah, so that's where I would have gone. Um, Stanley says those bend screen phones seem like they'll break after a year. Nope, they've already been out for. There's some that have been out already for over a year now that are still going okay. Yeah. Thanks, Raymond. It's not like I haven't thought about it before. So, yeah. Sorry if I'm moving around on you guys a lot. It's just my back's still a little bit twitchy. So every now and then I get a little, yeah, and I have to move. So that's what happens. What else have I been watching? Well, other than Motherland, Fort Salem, which is pretty good. I'm liking this season. Superman and Lois, of course. And I actually read an article which I started laughing about, where they said Superman and Lois really needs to move over to HBO Max and get out of the CW, which I agree with. It can fall into the Arrowverse trap fairly easily, and I don't want it to. I think if HBO Max were to rescue it and to bring it on board there with a higher budget and allow those characters to flourish, I think it would be a lot better than leaving it on CW to wither and die. I mean, sure, Stargirl's fine where it's at because that's where it started off, but Superman and Lois is a different animal. And also, I agreed with the articles. They said basically we already had the season finale, like, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, with the whole Morgan Edge thing ending. And then they kind of dragged it out a little bit more. And also, the thing that's hurting it is that because they don't have 24 episodes, which is normally what the CW does on their shows, they're preempting it with these like 2-week blocks of not being there anymore. And then putting an episode here, then 2 weeks off, and then putting another episode on. And it just hurts, viewing wise. You don't know when the fuck it's going to be on. Keith, yes, I did make that nom nom thought bubble in the background. I threw it up there because it just it made sense for some reason. Stanley says, I still find the Spree irredeemable. And I agree with you, Stanley. I don't think the Spree are going to be redeemable, especially Scylla. I don't think Scylla is even looking at redeeming herself. So thanks, Keith. Yeah, I don't think Scylla's gonna be able to redeem herself, and I don't think she wants to be redeemed. Um, yeah, so I think they're doing a good job of what they're showing there. And I agree with you, Raymond. Yeah, I think Superman and Lois is the best thing that's been on CW in a while. Thanks, Raymond. You didn't need to do that. Pepper's new pet visit went very well, actually. So yes, she has a new vet. A night and day difference from vets that we have. I Yeah, she's got a new vet. Is what I'm saying. I mean, she wasn't shaking when she went in. Normally, when she goes in, was going into the old vet. And as soon as we walk in, she starts shaking and everything. And she didn't like going there. And this place she was fine with. And when she came out, everything was fine. She was actually taking treats from them, which she normally doesn't do, all that kind of stuff. And then also, they gave me an option. So here's a little bit of graphic stuff for you. So she has, and I've said this before, she needs to have her anal glands expressed monthly. Um, so anal glands in small dogs are these little sacs that contain this really nasty fluid in it that smells like dead fish that have been decomposed for like about 3 weeks inside of the ass of a um, I don't know, someone who's been eating chili and nothing but chili for the last 5 years. It's really a horrible smell. And so once a month she needs to go in and get those emptied. And because otherwise it's painful for her. Also, she can get bacterial infection, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I've been getting this done for a couple of years now, where she's been going in and getting this done. And the doctor actually told me, this doctor, the new one's like, hey, you can actually have the anal gland surgically removed. He goes, I've had that done with my dog. And I was like, what? Because of course the old vet never told me anything about this. So yeah, so there's an option there where yeah, she can actually be free of scooting around on her butt every now and then. But anyway, that was a side story there. Stanley asks, what about Scylla? Isn't she supposed to be the girlfriend? She is supposed to be the girlfriend, but I don't know if Ray is ever going to actually accept her fully. Also, I don't think the others are going to accept her fully. So, yeah. I'm sorry, Raymond. So, you know what that smell is like. I've been in the room once when they've done it, and oh my god, it's the worst smell you ever want to have smelled in your life, or not wanted to smell in your life, I should say. I'm looking over at her right now. She's laying down. Stanley says we had a dog as kids, never heard about these cleanings. So usually when your dog is scooting their butt on the ground, sometimes they're doing it because it feels good, but most of the time they're doing it because of anal glands that are swollen and maybe infected. And I actually can lead to some other problems too. So it was probably done to your dog, Stanley, when if you ever brought him in to get him groomed. Most groomers will do it as part of the grooming package. They just do it from the outside, though. They don't go inside like the vets do. And yeah, you can understand what I mean by going into the inside of yeah. So yeah, most dogs they do. Small dogs usually have anal gland issues. How this turned into an anal gland, dog issue episode, I have no idea. uh anyway. As a short hair dog. Yeah, I actually get Pepper shaved down every summer because you know, but when I was living in South uh, Southern California down there, it get really fucking hot. So I mean, yeah. Spoiler, talking about anal glands. Day exactly. That's what we're talking about. I did see Stargirl, the first episode of Stargirl. Man, I don't know what's going on with that one. Um, the new season just seems kind of off. I know Jim Gaffigan says that he's coming back to voice fuck, whoever the genie is in the pen. I can't remember what the name is of it. Yeah. So, yeah, they did introduce Green Lantern's daughter. Of course, after she destroyed the kitchen and you know, in the house and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. Uh, I don't know how to take that, Raymond. That just, yeah, okay. Stanley says it seems we will get an evil teen. Yeah, we're gonna get the teen evil team. Yes, we are gonna get that now. Of course, the main bad guy who wasn't there for the Injustice Society is going to be coming back too. Who we've always heard his voice, but we've never seen him. The Shade, I believe, is what it is going to be coming back for this season. But it's gonna be a long, drawn out process. Is what's gonna happen. So I'm trying to think of anything else. God, no, I don't have anything else. What are you guys watching? The Bear in the Woods is Solomon Grundy. Yes, it is. And it always brings to mind, does a bear shit in the woods? Of course he does. Wow. So, what else do I have going on this week? Tomorrow I'm off. Tuesday is another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And I still don't know what I'm doing as of yet. I got to find something to talk about. I will. Wednesday will be another episode of What If, Marvel's What If. I believe it's a zombie episode, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be fun. Thursday will be another episode of Titans. Titans episode 4 will be on there. Friday will be the results of the contest here. So yeah, I'm giving away the coffee mug back here in the ears. So if you go and take a look at Star Wars: The Bad Batch, the final episode, the season finale, that has all the information for the contest for these guys there. And you've got until Friday to enter. So there you go. Saturday, we roll back around again on Saturday morning blast off or take the genre news of the weekend and genre stuff you guys want to talk about. And then Sunday, we come back to spoiler alert and all of that good stuff. Stanley says, go watch Free Guy. Centaur World was good on Netflix. I saw that and I just kind of passed over it. Raymond says, I thought it was Star-Lord T'Challa. Oh, it might be Star-Lord T'Challa. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see what the order was. I've been staying away from what it is, just so I'm surprised when I see it. Yeah. Those are the one things I really don't want to be spoiled by. And there's a lot of places that try really fucking hard to spoil it. A lot of people already got the first 5 episodes to review, or the first 3 or 5 episodes. I can't remember what it is. And like literally 2 days before the first episode aired, there were a couple of sites that were going, we've seen the first 3 episodes and they suck. And they're going into detail about it. And it's like, dude, the first episode hasn't even hit yet. Don't fucking spoil it for people. Those are the shit sites out there. The first 3 were out as a the first 3. Okay. I still don't like sites that do that kind of bullshit that they get access to it and then they shit all over them and also ruin them for everyone else too at the same time. I mean, I'm still small enough where no one's coming to me and going, hey, review these episodes kind of thing and tell us what you think. And no one's going to do that, But if they did, I wouldn't be spoiling shit for you because, only here, but not, of course, before they're out into the general public. On spoiler alert. Yeah. Stanley says some say the first were the best, some say it's the worst of the three. Okay. Raymond says, yeah, I will refrain from that. I love going into something blind. It's so hard now. Yeah, it's really hard to go into something blind. Yeah, Gizmodo has a really bad problem of spoiling shit in their titles. Depending on who's writing the joeblow.com, they have a really bad time of doing that as well. Trying to think who else. Comic Book Resources does it as well. Comicbook.com doesn't really do that kind of stuff anymore. They don't do reviews other than video games and then anime. That's pretty much it. Other than that, I haven't delved into a lot much more than that. So, all right. So, I'm gonna let you guys go for the rest of the weekend. Thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithm of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there and the like button and the share button if you will. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go take a look at suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule that's up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my my social media and my pages. There we go. What did you ask there, Raymond? You said most anticipated content of the rest of the year. The Marvel movies, I want to say. Yeah, I mean, even though I know they're not coming out to Disney Plus until afterwards, I think they're going to do the 45-day thing as well. Because I'm not going to a theater anytime soon. And so yeah, Shang-Chi, The Eternals is coming out. Actually, Spider-Man No Way Home. That one I'm probably looking forward to the most right now. That one I think is going to be really, really good. Yeah, Dune, I'm not really excited about. I know you guys are about, and it's just the director leaves me cold on a lot of things. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may get your anal glands expressed as a result of it. I don't know. It's happening for Raymond, I guess. Thanks, everybody. I will see you guys again on Tuesday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, and take care, everybody. Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of the weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday.